Hi, Vanessa here and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you 3 books to add to your self-development toolbox. If you are new, please subscribe and don't forget to stay to the end for the book quote of the day. Now, 2020 is just around the corner and I wanted to discover books that would have a positive and value impact going into the new year. And I was thinking what type of books could do that for me. And I broke it down into 3 categories. The first and the most important is mental health and well-being. I think when we are happier inside, it spills over onto our daily life and it creates a positive environment so that we can pour onto others and give our energy in a positive manner. So that's definitely the most important. The second one I thought was important was financial freedom. When we are armed with knowledge in finances and we feel secure for today, tomorrow, and into retirement, we live with a sense of confidence and we can make smarter decisions. So I thought that was very important. And then the third one is learning new skills. Okay, let's face it, we're at our jobs between 8 to 10 hours a day, and it'll be many, many more years until we retire. So it's important that we continue to be passionate about our jobs and be able to do our jobs effectively. And that could also mean learning new skills to self-develop into maintaining our jobs or to explore other fields as well. So I went to look for these books and my criteria was that it had to be published this year in 2019 because I think previous books have such great foundational information, but a lot has changed in the last year. New information has been developed, perspectives changed, and our way of thinking is evolving. So I wanted to read and what people were saying in 2019. So I found the books, I read them, and now I want to share them with you. So the first book I read on mental health and well-being was called The Joy of Missing Out by Tonya Dalton. The Joy of Missing Out, also known as JOMO, which is the opposite of FOMO, the fear of missing out, is such a great and refreshing concept. I think we come from a time where we're encouraged to say yes often in our personal and professional lives. We don't want to miss out and we want to give help. We want to be helpful, we want to contribute, and we end up getting further and further away from our own personal goals. We overcommit, we feel busy, we feel overwhelmed, and we think that we've accomplished all these things, but at the end of the day, when we hit the bed, we're not really sure what we did or how come we're not closer to the goals that we wanted to achieve. As I was reading The Joy of Missing Out, I felt really energized and it continued to feel really jazzed throughout the whole book. And I think it's because I was finding my purpose again. The concept of this book is twofold. One, to find your North Star, your purpose, your focus in life that brings you happiness. And 2, it unapologetically lets you know it's okay to say no to things that do not contribute to your North Star. So what if you're thinking, I don't know what my North Star is, I don't know what my purpose, I don't know what my focus is. This book is centered around the Live Well framework that Tonya Dalton has created to help you discover what your North Star is. It has exercises to kind of defog your brain and remember who you are, what makes you happy, and what your priorities are. And then you're like, okay, great, now I know, how do I get there? And this is where the joy of missing out concept comes in. We know the fastest way to get from A to B is in a straight line. Unfortunately, there are so many challenges, obstacles, and distractions that come our way. And this book gives us solutions on how to minimize those distractions. I'm the type of learner that needs concrete examples, stories, quotes, anything to help me associate, to remember how to use these solutions that are provided. And so Tonya Dalton does a really good job of incorporating all those elements into this book. If she introduced a concept, immediately she'll also voice your doubt. So say you read something, you're like, no way I can do that. She hears you and she goes above and beyond to explain how you can kind of squash those fears, squash that doubt, and offers more steps on how you can reach that goal through one of her solutions. I like the concept of the North Star and it keeping me on track to my own personal goals, my own happiness, because we know that when we are happy, we can give 10 times more of ourselves to others. And I also like that it teaches us how to say no politely and effectively, because we value the relationships in our lives with others, but we also now know that we can't say yes to everything that we're pressured to or that we feel like we have to. So it does guide us and teach us ways to politely decline and help us understand why we need to do that. This book is released October 1st. I'll put a link below so you can get a copy to finding your way back to your own happiness and saying no to things that don't bring you happiness. The second book I read for financial freedom was called Kicking Financial Ass by Dumont. And right off the bat, I'm going to say I really like this book because it's written for Americans and Canadians. Hello to my Canadian friends. This book is for people who are just learning about finance, want a refresher on finance, or just want to understand what finance is about. Now, it covers an entire spectrum for when you are in debt to when you're ready to invest and everything else in between. If you are in debt, and you feel overwhelmed with it, I recommend reading The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I did do a video and I'll link it below so you can start there as well. What I really liked about this book is how Dumont centers why financial freedom is important. And it goes back to our first topic. It's about finding happiness. And when we are secure in our own finances, we feel happier. And so every action that we take towards financial freedom is actually for our own inner happiness. Now, because his spectrum is so broad, it makes it for a really great read because you can kind of get it broken down and seeing what you need to do to get to where you want to be. So the first portion covers debt, and it also covers perspective on money and how you think of money, and also habits that you have towards your own money. And then it moves on to guides, examples, graphs, charts, numbers on how you can achieve what you need to. So for example, if you are in your 30s, sorry to say, retirement is not that far away. And when you figure out that the lifestyle you currently lead is maybe not attainable in retirement due to inflation, or maybe due to slow income increase. So we need to think towards the future. So with retirement being not so far away, he does talk a lot about the structures of retirement in both Canadian and American platforms and how to be able to figure out how much you need for retirement and what kind of steps you need to take. So I think this is very valuable. Even if you read it and you think about it in concept and start with small amount of cash, it can make all the difference for your retirement. If you're the type of person who really dislikes financial lingo or you find it difficult to read, I know that, when I started reading it, sometimes I would get immediately, turned off. My brain is like, what are we reading? But he really does a great job putting it out into easily digestible terms. He also couples it with stories as well so that it makes it more entertaining to read. So I thought he did a really good job of that. If you are looking to get on your financial journey, to kind of tighten up your financial fitness, I definitely recommend reading Kicking Financial Ass by Dumont, which is available now. I'll also link his book below so you can get a copy of yours. And the last book I read on how to build your new skill set was called Better Selling Through Storytelling by John Livesay. In today's society, it is so competitive and everyone is asking, what is your X factor? And really, what's unique about us is our stories and how we tell them. Case in point, YouTube is so popular now because we really want to hear other people's stories. I mean, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, Bran got picked to be king because of his storytelling abilities. Effectively, what I think storytelling is successful communication. When we tell stories to our boss, our friends, our peers, our clients, our family, what we're doing is communicating with them. And when they hear our opinions and our ideas and it resonates with them, that is successful storytelling. It is effective. And John Livesay guides us on how to do this. John Livesay walks us through how to become from invisible to irresistible. And he does this through his own storytelling. He's known as the pitch whisperer, and gives us concepts and guides on how to effectively tell our own stories. I found this book to be not just educational, but entertaining as well. And so if you are looking to build a new skill set and to make your stories more effective, because in 2020, you want to effectively communicate with those around you, I recommend picking up this book. I'll leave the link below so you can start telling your own stories. Okay, a few months left before 2020. I wish you all the success and luck in self-development. If you have any recommendations for self-development books, please comment below and let me know so that we can all grow together. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. As always, I wish you happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.